Our second presentation is called Recruiting the Best and Brightest from the state of Wisconsin. Our two presenters are Jean Bink, the Assistant Administrator of the Division of Merit Recruitment and Selection for the state of Wisconsin, and Robert Lavinia, the Administrator of the Division of Merit Recruitment and Selection for the Wisconsin Department of Employee Relations. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. We're very honored and excited to be here today to describe to you how we've reformed Wisconsin's civil service hiring system. We too have something that we'd like you to keep in mind after our presentation, and that is, without effective ways to hire talented people, government itself can't be effective. Our nation's ability to address the critical challenges we face depends on our ability to attract the best and the brightest to public service, the same kind of innovators who are in this room today. Now, we've all heard that civil service systems are inefficient, they're unresponsive, and they're slow. I'm sure I'll get some nods from my colleagues here. The National Commission on the State and Local Public Service calls this national problem civil service paralysis. Well, in Wisconsin, we're ending civil service paralysis. We've joined forces with literally thousands of our customers and stakeholders to create a system that works. Of course, we're also streamlining and reducing our workforce, like most governments, and that's really why it's more important than ever to ensure that when we do hire, we recruit talented people quickly and efficiently.
Our innovation actually consists of 4 related programs. The first 2 are hiring programs, an entry professional hiring program, and a critical recruitment program. Third, we developed Walkin civil service testing, and fourth, Jobs, which is our job announcement service on the internet. We're not going to go into detail on these programs today because we think you'd like to hear about our results and about the interest we've already generated from around the country. Our innovations do deliver results. They've eliminated red tape, they've saved time, and they have cut costs. For example, our entry professional and critical recruitment programs use state-of-the-art alternatives to traditional written exams. In the past, the best we could do was to tell job candidates to watch our announcement, send in an application, wait to receive a testing notice, take the written exam, wait for the results, and then maybe get an interview. Now they can apply immediately, and if they qualify, they can be interviewed very quickly.
Now, for some jobs, written exams are still the best approach. In these cases, our walk-in testing innovation allows job seekers to simply go to one of our exam centers without applying in advance. In the past, they had to apply up to 5 weeks in advance. Now, if a person decides on a Friday that they want to find a new job, they can simply show up the next morning at one of our test centers without applying in advance. And here are some other examples of the kinds of results that these innovations are delivering to our customers.
We've hired more than 1,200 highly qualified employees through our entry professional and critical recruitment programs. These people work in various fields, things such as in healthcare, engineering, law enforcement, and many other areas. And we've hired hundreds more people through walk-in testing. And many of these people have told us they wouldn't have even applied under our old systems. Our new programs have also saved time. We can now produce lists of job candidates for our agencies about 4 weeks faster. Our innovations are also diversifying state government. In the entry professional program alone, 17% of our hires are minorities. That's over 3 times the minority graduation rate in our colleges. And finally, Jobs, which is our electronic bulletin board service, is used over 60,000 times each month by job seekers.
These innovations are delivering value to our customers. One new hire, a fingerprint analyst, told us that the Wisconsin Department of Justice made him a job offer before the applications that he sent into the federal government and several other states were even acknowledged. That's the kind of competitive advantage that our innovations provide. Other governments are interested in our programs. We've already received over 50 requests for information from as far away as New Zealand. We've also made presentations at over 20 major conferences. And we're very excited about the chance we have now to reach out to even more jurisdictions. In Wisconsin, we've already put into place many of the recommendations of the National Performance Review and others to reform civil service. We think that our success sends a message to governments across America that we can reinvent civil service. One of our customers recently wrote to us that our innovations have resulted in better programs, better people, and better state government. We think that says it all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, questions from the panel. Barbara?
One of the, I guess, concerns might be the right way to express this, and then I hope you can allay the concern, but
sure.
It seemed that this innovative program that you had created with all of its capacity and performance opportunities ran into somewhat of a brick wall in terms of having statewide technology in all of your state government agencies to be able to take advantage of the prior work you've done with the applicants and the testing. Is it possible, and can you make me feel better about it by telling me if it is possible you may be ahead of yourself in terms of creating a program and not have put the technology in place to apply it?
Yes, in fact, that's exactly what we did. Our customers really were demanding some changes, and were concerned that some of our processes were cumbersome and bureaucratic and slow. And so a couple of the programs we developed, in particular our entry professional and critical recruitment hiring programs, we did in fact put into place before we developed automated systems to deal with them. But we are now in the process of doing that. We have some automation in place that allows us to manage the lists of candidates, and in fact allows us to create what we're calling designer employment lists for the agencies so that we can get them candidates that are specifically tailored to their job needs. So we are in the catch-up business. We hope that we can further our automation efforts and expand our programs even more.
And I'd like to add that we made a conscious decision to move forward with these programs, even though our mainframe computer system couldn't accommodate them, because we wanted to meet the needs of our customers.
Thank you.
Louise?
What were the major obstacles to your implementation of these programs?
Well, there are 4 different programs, so there are several. One of the obstacles that we overcame successfully was to convince our state legislature to enact legislation that we needed to make our systems more flexible, to have flexibility so that we were no longer restricted by the rule of 5 in terms of how many applicants we could refer to our state agencies. So we had one false start on that, but in 1991, the governor made the proposal, and we created a consensus around the need to make our system more flexible, and we did get legislation enacted.
Well, a couple of other things, if I can just add to that, because we do have 4 programs. Our electronic bulletin board announcement, going back to what Ms. Roberts asked earlier, again, we're not real technologically sophisticated, although we are working on that. We've got a number of committees in place that are developing human resource systems on a statewide basis. But to implement this bulletin board system, we in fact used a public domain software and a PC that's actually exhibited in the Smithsonian. It's so old. So we don't have a lot of technology, but we've worked in partnership with some of our agency customers. For example, the University of Wisconsin in Madison takes our job bulletin and then they download it onto their network and distribute it for us through the internet. So we have other resources available to us, and we've been able to overcome some of our obstacles that way.
Tom?
I'm curious as to the reaction of the public employee unions to these innovations.
We have very good relationships with our unions. In fact, we were one of the first large public sector organizations to successfully use consensus or win-win bargaining. We've included the unions right from the start in our strategic plan to change the civil service hiring system. They've been very supportive, in part because their members are also the beneficiaries of these efficiencies.
Margot?
You mentioned that you had saved money, and I'm wondering if you could give us some sense of the magnitude of that.
Just one example on our walk-in civil service testing, we're estimating that we saved about $40,000 annually, and we did that by eliminating the advance application form, which allowed us to cut out a whole step in the process whereby we printed and mailed an examination notice to the applicants. We found that we had about a 40% no-show rate of applicants, and we've eliminated all of the people who are taking exams, but the 40% of people who never showed up. We're eliminating all of our preparatory work. And that alone has saved us a lot of money.
That's 100,000 notices we no longer have to mail out.
Thank you. She's about